Ho, ho, ho. I've been waiting to make this video since Thursday night, baby. Alright, let me sit down. It's Scream 7 spoiler review. Got the fresh cut. Ladies, I'm here. Alright, look, I'm a massive fan of the Scream franchise. It's no surprise on the channel. I already have a spoiler-free review of Scream 7 out on the channel. If you check that out, you're a real one. But I gave it a B-. I was like, you know what? Go see it in theaters. It has problems. It's got a lot of problems. We'll discuss those problems here today in this spoiler review. This is going to be a lot of fun. I don't like doing spoiler reviews. I don't really like going through the entire plot of the movie, discussing everything about it. That's why I don't do a lot of them on the channel. That's why if I see a movie and I have to talk spoilers about it, I normally do it in the video. This is like one of those rare cases where I'm like, yeah, it's worth it not to spoil it in the review and recommend you go see it. But at the same time, there's a lot of dumb stuff that happens that I gotta talk about. I'm excited. We're not gonna waste no time. Spoil away down in the comment section. Just anything. Did you like it? Did you hate it? I want to know every single thing. And it's going to be a busy week on the Zach D Films YouTube channel. I was planning on doing like a killer ranking and a cold open ranking. I'm going to post them on my TikTok and then post them on YouTube Shorts. There will be shorts coming this week. But also, like, I'm not really a gamer, but I bought Resident Evil Requiem. I was really excited for Resident Evil Requiem because, like, as much of a not gamer I am, I absolutely, like, love the Resident Evil series, and I'm really freaking excited for it, and it is 110% worth it so far. I spent 11 hours this weekend playing that game. I haven't done that since Spider-Man 2, which was only a couple years ago, but still, I can't wait to talk about that game. I cannot wait. Stay tuned for a Resident Evil Requiem video game review come this week, along with some other things. February end of month ranking. It's going to be a busy week. We got a Pixar movie. We got The Bride. I'm doing the Oscar marathon this weekend, day one. It's a massive week on the Zach D Films YouTube channel after a very slow month. Very excited for that. But we're talking Scream 7 spoilers. It's time. Wow. Wow. Let's get started with the cold opening. And it could be a cool opening. I think it could have a lot of potential to be really cool. But it spoiled it in the trailer. And that was one of the big issues I've had with this movie, is that it's just spoiled too much of the cool stuff in the trailer. Where, like, we know exactly how the girl dies. They're in the house, you know, they're joking around. It's the Stu Macher house. Number one, why are we in Stu Macher's house? Why are we having the Macher house where, you know, all the kids in Scream 1 were murdered, all the kids in Scream 5 were murdered? Why is that just like a tourist attraction anybody can go to now? Nevertheless, by yourself, like 2 people can just drive there and just walk in? Okay? Why exactly can you do that? I don't know. Dumb. Anyways, they walk into the house, Ghostface is there, she falls from the top, gets stabbed. What I did like about this was he sets her on fire and you just hear her screams of agony. Ah, I'm burning to death. Oh my gosh. Like, yeah, that's the good part. But I mean, it's very stereotypical. Mainly because we've seen it before in the trailers. Then we go to Sydney's house. Sydney's got a daughter. Her name's Tatum. Tatum's sitting on her bed. She hears a noise. She walks to the window. Boom! It's creepy boyfriend. Hey, baby. I was sitting at home watching Stab, and it got me thinking of you, baby. Oh, that's nice, boyfriend. Let's do some on top of the clothes sexy time, baby. And they start making out, and you know, it's cool because it's the exact same fucking scene from the first Scream movie, and Sydney walks to the back of the room and she's like, whoa, 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 we don't allow this in my house. And they get into a fight and she's like, why won't you let me have sex with my boyfriend? And she's like, because he might be a murderer, I guess. We're off to a great start. So they argue, and, like, she has a conversation with her husband, who's Joel McHale. I'm just gonna flat out say it. So the first time he was on screen, I was like, that's Daniel LaRusso. It's not Daniel LaRusso. I'll tell you that much. It's not Daniel LaRusso. I'm laughing so hard my nose started to bleed. The next morning, Tatum's getting ready for school. It's Isabella May, so she looks good. And she comes out in a leather jacket, and Sydney's like, ugh! No! Take the jacket off! And she's like, why? And Sydney's like, I just don't like that jacket to be in my house. And Isabella May, or Tatum's like, fine, takes it off. And knockoff Daniel LaRusso goes, that one's on you. And I'm sitting there confused as hell in my theater seat like, what jacket is that? I've seen every movie in this franchise besides 3 countless times. Oh, that was the jacket she wore to college in Scream 2 that one time? It's that big of a deal? Nostalgia Bait! This is Nostalgia Bait, the movie! Ooh, we're gonna have Nostalgia Bait every fucking scene! Ooh! That's the script. That's the script! It's Nostalgia Bait, Scream 7. Nostalgia Bait, baby! That's the movie. I'm already losing my mind here just talking about the dumb things that have happened, and we're only 15 minutes into the film. Alright, so Isabella May's walking across the street. She's with her friends. You got McKenna Grace in there. You got Celeste O'Connor. They're friends. They're in a play. Because Sydney was in a play that one time in Scream 2. Do you get it now? Do you get them? Do you get it now? Do you get it now? They go to rehearsal, and, you know, their theater guide is just an absolute prick. Like, he's like, hey, I know you're in a dog costume and you can't see, but quit falling down the stairs, you idiot. And, you know, they're all like, or McKenna Grace, the lead in the show, walks over and flips the guy off. Let's just flip off our theater director in high school. That's nice. And, you know, I love McKenna Grace. She doesn't do nothing in this movie. Nothing happens to her in this movie. Well, a lot happens to her, but she doesn't do nothing because Sydney's at work and she gets a call and she's like, oh, it's just some guy doing the Scream thing. And he's like, what's your favorite scary movie, Sydney? And Sydney's like, I'm not going to play this game. And all of a sudden he's like, let's video call. And it's Matthew Lillard. It's Stu. And you know what they're doing? He's taking his cell phone. He's setting it up right here. Probably at his own house. He probably got a green screen just set up in the fucking living room and with his cell phone. And he's like, oh, I'm getting paid like a lot of money for Scream 7. Cool. Hi, Sydney. It's me, Stu Macher, your old enemy. I'm back from the dead and I'm gonna kill you. Yeah, that's every single one of his scenes with ridiculously bad green screen. And she's like, Stu's alive. She's at the high school. She runs there. Ghostface comes out of the dark. McKenna Grace is on, like, the pulley thing. She's flying. She's in the show. She's rehearsing, whatever. And, you know, Ghostface, like, the best part about this movie, the greatest part about this movie, and one of the greatest things about this franchise, I'm just going to throw this out here, is that how good the kills are, how creative the kills are. And it's cool because Ghostface controls the pulley thing, and he makes her swing towards him while he lifts up his knife and guts her insides, and her insides fall to the ground. Yeah, that was a cool kill movie. And I'm like, okay. This movie's been stupid, but that was pretty okay. In comes Sydney. Takes a gun. Ghostface right there. Bang, bang, bang. Oh, I missed Ghostface 3 separate times. I'm Sydney Prescott. You'd think that I would actually know how to shoot a gun instead of shooting everywhere but where Ghostface is. So he runs to the back to go after Tatum, who's in the back with her boyfriend. She's having this conversation with her boyfriend. She's like, do you think I'm weird? Do you think I'm quirky? And he's all like, yeah, I think you're quirky and weird, but that's what I love about you, and I love your eyes and the way you look at me, like, I just want to give it to you. It's essentially what he's saying. And she's all like, oh, you're so hot, and let's have another makeout session on top of the table. And then all of a sudden, he just leaves, and, you know, Ghostface is running in there, and she's like, oh, there's shadows somewhere. But all of a sudden, Sydney runs to the door. She's like, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. So what they do is they tell her husband, who's a cop, the worst officer on planet Earth, And he gets his other officers to just run throughout the house. They're about to get out of town. They're running throughout the house trying to see if Ghostface is in there. And, because they're such amazing police officers, they completely forget to check upstairs or in the attic, where if Ghostface was in the house, where he would be hiding. Guess what? Here he is. Peekaboo, baby girl. It's me, Ghostface. And I'm here. And I'm not going to lie. This was a cool scene. This was a really cool scene. They go in the safe room. Knock off Daniel LaRusso. Fights with Ghostface. He gets thrown upstairs, knocked out. And they're crawling through the walls. Would have been awesome to see for the first time in theaters. But they spoiled that too in the trailers. Why wouldn't they? It's 2026. We got to show every single scene in a trailer now. And, Ghostface stabs through the walls. Really cool scene. Really intense scene. Sidney gets stabbed, but it doesn't matter because she's Sidney freaking Prescott. And she's like, yeah, that's gonna bruise. Just the knife goes all the way through her arm. That's gonna bruise. I'm Sidney Prescott. I don't take no damage. And, they get out of the house. There's a fight. They're fighting Ghostface. They throw Ghostface in the street. All of a sudden, here comes a car. Boom! Hits Ghostface. Ghostface is dead. They took a swing here, and I like that they took a swing here, and I love this. I was thinking, this is actually pretty good right now. That's what I was thinking. And out of the car walks out Gale Weathers, because she's in the movie. That's the only thing she does the entire movie is drive a car. Why was she here? I'm thinking back on it, and I'm like, why did Gale show up in this movie? She just comes out of nowhere. She's like, peekaboo, it's me. I'm Gale. I just killed Ghostface. You also got Mindy and Chad. They also walk out of the car because they're now all of a sudden reporters. It's because we got to get them from the other two movies. I think it would have... As much fun as it is seeing them there, I think it would have made a lot more sense if they weren't in this movie. But all of a sudden you killed Ghostface, you unmask him, it's some random psychopath. That's who it is. That's all who he is. That's it. Okay. That was cool. Honestly, if I'm being honest, really cool scene though. However, Sidney and Gale are like, let's go to this nut house and see if they know Stu. Because Stu's been calling me, like genuinely calling me on a cell phone. Hi, Sidney. Let me take a drink of my vodka martini. Gulp, 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 gulp. Pretend this bottle of water was a vodka martini. Hi, Sidney. So I'm probably in, like, freaking the beach right now. And I know that we're supposed to be shooting a movie. But, have fun, Sidney. And he hangs up the phone. And, they go there and they realize that, Stu Macher's body never made it to the grave. Because of course it wouldn't. Nostalgia, baby! They get Sidney's phone traced, which, they should have done after the first time that he called her, not wait for the next day. Worst police officers ever. And, so they're like, we got to get him to call, so let's get an interview on the news. So they go and they get an interview on the news. Meanwhile, our group of friends, you got Celeste O'Connor, you got Isabella May, you got her boyfriend, you got a creepy guy I completely forgot to mention up until this point. That's what he is. He's the guy who wants to interview Sidney because he's a true crime enthusiast. That's the group. Also, he's got a mom and she's all like, oh, don't bother Sidney, kid. Don't bother Sidney. She's the killer, and I'm going to say it this early on in the review, because as soon as she was on screen, I leaned over to my brother, and I said, that's the killer. Pretty sure that's the killer. She was the killer. I wasn't even spoiled on the movie. I was, like, one of the first people to see this movie. And, I knew that was the killer. That's how up and obvious it is. Surprise, Sidney! And... anyways, they're having the conversation at the bar. They're all like, who's the motive? Who's the killer? They go on the news. They're all like, Gale's all like, you know what? I'm Gale. I'm going to push your buttons. How about your kids? Do you like your kids? what's your situation with your kids? And Sydney's all like, I don't want to talk about my kids. But it works because, Stu sitting at freaking soccer practice for his kid is just like, Hi, Sydney. Hi, Sydney. I'm on the phone getting paid a lot of freaking money to sit here at my house and be on the phone, just recording my lines, phoning it in, literally. That's, like, I hate what they did with Stu. The best killer in this franchise, and they completely waste him like this. I hate it. 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 And it's all because, we had the drama because of the drama. I don't really want to mention it, but you have the drama, and so you got to bring Stu back. You got to get Kevin Williamson to direct. It's bad. God, it's bad. It's really bad. Where was I in the plot? I guess you can call it. Now, this is where things are going to get less fun to just completely roast. Because, this is the part I really enjoyed, Isabella May walks out, she goes to her car, her boyfriend is doing something on his laptop with deep fakes. I have a feeling that Matthew Lillard, Stu Macher, is a deep fake, which obviously he's a deep fake because he's staring at his phone the entire movie doing nothing, and, he does the deep fake, and they look at his computer, and he's all like, oh, I got a bunch of deep fakes on my computer, but it's because I just wanted to see what I can do. That's not creepy at all. So she takes the computer, she's like, you son of a bitch, and just completely beats the hell out of him. Meanwhile, Sydney gets a call from Stu, and he's all like, your daughter's at the bar, I'm gonna go kill her. So Sydney's like, I gotta go now. And instead of waiting 3 seconds for Gail to get the car keys, she's like, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna leave the studio, and I'm gonna run full speed, which is, by the way, not faster than an actual car, and I'm gonna run. And Gail, 3 seconds, Gail's like, we gotta go, Sydney. And she goes, looks in her pocket, grab the keys, she looks up, Sydney's gone. She's like, Sydney? Oh, rats. So, you know what? Gail doesn't show up at all the rest of the movie until the very end. Gail just, why doesn't she get her car and go pick up Sydney? Gail's just like, oh well. Not my problem, I guess. And Sydney, she is running down the street, no cars in the middle of the street. So this next part is absolutely awesome. Ghostface walks into the bar. He goes to Celeste O'Connor, grabs her, just throws her across the bar. She lands into a pile of glass, gets glass stuck in her throat. She's dead. Awesome kill. She goes over to Chad and Mindy, and because Chad got stabbed 6 times and Mindy got stabbed in the last movie and they're both survived, wouldn't it be a funny gag if we call back to Scream 6 and we stab Chad and then we stab Mindy and then just leave them for dead? But they're going to be completely fine by the end of the movie because why wouldn't we complete our kill? Yeah, hated that. Absolutely hated that. Ghostface goes to the creepy kid, grabs him by the shoulders, picks him up, and through the beer tap just slams his head down where it goes through his jaw, up his head. It's awesome. I am enjoying the movie at this point. I am really, truly enjoying the movie at this point. And, beer starts coming out of his mouth combined with blood and throw up, and it's so nasty. It's awesome. I loved that kill. That kill was amazing. At that point, I'm like, this is actually really fun. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of problems. This is really fun. The boyfriend catches up to Isabella May, who's just running in the middle of the street and trying to hide from Ghostface. And he's all like, babe, I'm right here. I promise I'm not Ghostface. And Ghostface just, peekaboo, stabs him in the neck a couple thousand times. Just bam, 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 boyfriend. He's dead. She goes in the office of Sydney's job, which would be a really cool scene where she's got to take the gun and she's pointing it through the door and she's like, oh, Ghostface is here. You got to shoot him through the wall. You got to shoot him through the wall. And, you've seen the scene, even if you haven't seen the movie, because it's in the trailers, because of course it is. Again, another scene that if I saw it for the first time in the theater, I'm like, that would bring it up more for me. She shoots Ghostface. Ghostface is takes 3 shots to the chest. She walks out and she's like, and Sydney's like, you gotta shoot her in the head. So I have no problem shooting her through the door, but looking at her, I'm gonna take 5, 4, 3, 2, Ghostface is alive. She gets picked up, thrown against the wall, thrown against all the other things. Gail has still not picked Sydney up. Sydney isn't standing in the middle of the street. She's not even running or trying to get there anymore. It's like, okay, they kidnap Isabella, or Tatum. They kidnap Tatum. And we are revealed who the killers is. Guess who? It's Creepy Boy's mother. She's the killer. Obviously, who's the other killer, you may ask? I don't know. It is some random dude. I swear to you, some random dude. Some dude this chick met at a psych ward, I guess. He's just standing there. He's like, hey, I'm here. So Sydney's like, traditionally, bang, boy, I'm going to shoot you in the head. There's this really cool, her motive. Let's get to the motive real quick. The motive, I actually quite like the motive. Where the motive for her is, she looked up to Sydney. Sydney disappeared, thought she was a coward, and she's like, we need a new Sydney Prescott. What about the daughter? Let's scar the daughter so the daughter can rise up and start to be like this inspiration to others when Sydney was being a coward in Scream 6. And that's a cool motivation if it was written well, if it was developed well throughout the film. Like, I like the idea. Yet, the execution was bad. So, like, it's by far the worst killer in this franchise, even though I enjoy the motivations. So, Sydney and the killer and Tatum go through the house where they're doing, like, construction on their house. By the way, I forgot to mention, knockoff Daniel LaRusso was walking in the construction area, and Ghostface jumps out and stabs him about 6 times. They pull him out of nowhere, and he's still alive. We can't torture Sydney anymore and kill her husband, can we? Nah, let's just stab him 6 times. He's still alive. That's realistic. Anyways, they go throughout the entire construction area, and Sydney, shoots the mom like 5 times in the chest again, and takes the knife and bam, 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 stabbing you in the leg 15 times, stabbing you in the gut about 20 times. This mom is not taking any damage. She's completely okay. It's not until Tatum walks in, they both have a gun, and they shoot her in the face like 6 times. She's surviving these shots! And then her face gets blown off, and it's like, okay, she's dead. Where were the police the entire time? Ghostface running throughout the town. I get that it's at a lockdown, but like, isn't the point of a lockdown to look for the killer? Not like, the police shouldn't be able to get to go home for fun anyways. Right? There are no police. They don't show up. So we have one final scene of the movie. Gale finally shows up because Sydney could run like 20 miles faster than Gale can get in the car and drive 20 miles. Makes no sense. They have a conversation. Sydney's like, I'll tell you anything you want about my past now, Tatum. I know your boyfriend's dead. I'm sorry. It's all okay. We're all okay. Chad and Mindy here like, we got stabbed. Let's record this thing now. We're completely okay. Dumb, diddy dumb. It's dumb. It's bad. The script is awful. Like I said, I had fun with the kills. That's what I go to a slasher for. But, like, the script is bad, and I feel like I could sit down and I could write a better script in, like, 20 minutes than they actually wrote here. It just feels like a cheap cash grab and a cheap to try to get the fans back. And I'm going to go on a little spiel right here. I don't understand the whole thing with, like, it makes no sense to me. And I know I haven't said it yet, but it makes no sense to me that you have people just hating on the movie because of what they did with, obviously, Melissa Barrera, and you're like, okay, fine. They're going to hate on the movie. We already know they're going to boycott it, and no matter if the movie is an absolute masterpiece and better than the first Scream, which, God, it's not, but they're going to hate it anyways. And then you got the Scream fans, who I am on their side. I'm a massive Scream fan, and the people are going on Twitter saying, oh, it's a masterpiece. The twists were so well thought out and crafted. It's intense. I was emotional. I cried. This is the most profound and outstanding movie. And I've seen people posting their rankings and they're putting it above Scream 5 and above Scream 4. Some people are even saying it's the best Scream movie ever above Scream 1. And there's this clip of 3C films going around and people are giving him a lot of hate. Like, hey, man, people can have their own opinions, but he's got a point. Because nobody can actually sit back and think that this was actually a smartly written movie. I think that it's impossible. To each their own. I am one who preaches everybody has their own opinion. I mean, I like the first 2 movies in the new Strangers trilogy, for God's sake. But, like, it comes a point where you gotta sit back and you gotta think. This is in no way, shape, or form better than the original. This is in no way, shape, or form a worthy sequel. And in no way, shape, or form is this a misunderstood masterpiece. And you got to come out, like, it's been awful. The discourse around this movie has been awful. And it's almost like, you know, you don't know if anybody's hating on it to hate on it, or liking it or loving it just because of the drama. And there's people like me, like actual film critics out there that are just trying to say our piece. Yeah, we got stuff we liked. Yeah, we got stuff we didn't like. But then you got the people that are saying it's either amazing or it's awful. And the discourse has been just as bad as I would have expected it to be. But that was my spoiler review of Scream 7. That was a lot of fun. That was by far the best spoiler review I've ever done on the channel. I had a lot of fun. There's going to be a Scream ranking in the coming days. Check my TikTok. It'll also be on YouTube Shorts, where I'm going to do the movies ranked by the killers and the cold openings ranked as well. And a lot of other things too coming this week on the channel. So make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell so you never miss another thing. And with that said, subscribe.